Well, Sony decided to do something that upset everybody. Fortnite's making some major changes, and quite possibly the biggest game ever has been announced. Let's talk about some game news. We'll get right to the news, starting with Sony, which will disappoint a lot of people. Sony pulls discovery videos PlayStation users already own, sparking concern over our digital future. All right, so that's the headline from IGN. Basically, Sony, due to rights negotiations, has decided to pull content from the PlayStation Store, even stuff that users have already purchased, meaning these videos will no longer be accessible in any way, shape, or form through your Sony account or at all. Like you because you bought them on your PlayStation through the movies and TV service, you don't get them. Now, I'm not saying the content that's being delisted is good or bad. That's not the point here, because I looked at the list and I didn't feel a loss by this. I didn't purchase the content in question. But it's a terrible example of what an all digital library can do or can be, right? Because at the end of the day, all of these things could happen to any single property, any single item on these digital marketplaces. This could happen on Xbox, it could happen on Switch, it could happen on your PC through the myriad of launchers and digital services. We see it all the time with Netflix and Hulu and other streaming services where movies and shows will cycle in and out. Now those contracts are a little different. This is you buying a license to watch something and you assume it's in perpetuity, but it's actually, as long as Sony keeps paying for the rights for the content to be on their platform, you can access it if that's where you bought it. It's really frustrating. I don't like where this is going. I don't like that this happens with stuff. We've had a ton. Well, I say a ton. We've had a handful of significant games being delisted forever, and you can't get them. You can't re-download them. You can't even preserve them because they were digital only releases. And you can look up that list of things. The biggest problem is, this could happen to any. There's no guarantee that none of this stays, in your library. Your money is gone. Your item is gone, and there's no way to back it up. There's no way to re-download it and review it. It's just gone. So I don't want to dwell on this too long, but yes, Zedge, this is why you only buy physical copies. This is a very good argument for buying physical media, which is on the way out, sadly. With TV shows and movies, usually you can still find a physical disc of it being released, no matter what it is in general. Even like Netflix only shows end up with a physical release, at least for now. And even as consoles move away from having a disc drive, Blu-ray players are fairly cheap and really good. So all that said, that's not an excuse to just, if people want us to have confidence and invest in these digital marketplaces, we need better than, hey, we couldn't negotiate the terms here, and so we're losing it. Therefore you're losing it. And it's like, in the message, they're like, thanks for your support. But at the same time, it's like, well, hold on there. What do you mean, thanks for your support? That's the end of it. Like, what happens? Why did I just lose stuff because of some negotiation that I had no hand in? But sadly, that's the way it works. And it's not a good system. It's not at all. We haven't seen this hit gaming in the same way, but there have been instances of popular games being pulled from PlayStation, from Xbox. I'm sure games get delisted on Steam every so often that nobody's played, but it probably happens. But Steam has recourse for you to re-download or at least keep a download of your game, if I understand the terms correctly. I'm not an expert on these things. I've only looked through and heard other discussion, but this situation specifically is not good for the all digital future that all these platform holders want us to be excited about. So you guys let me know what you think of that. Let's move to the next story. Jet Force Gemini has a broken widescreen mode. So we talked about this release on last week's game news show. This article courtesy of VGC. Basically, when it scales to widescreen, it looks stupid and garbage. And it's weird because on N64 it natively supported widescreen. Theoretically, this could be patched, but it's kind of weird that the Switch Online app doesn't handle this very well at all. So who knows what the solution is? But yeah, that's a small issue. Let's go to next article. Another article from VGC. Nintendo unveils Donkey Kong Country theme park expansion onto Super Nintendo Land or Super Nintendo World in Japan. So by spring 2024, Donkey Kong Country area of the Japanese Nintendo theme park world will increase its size by 1.7 times. It's gonna have a roller coaster and stuff. It's just really cool. Donkey Kong is getting like recognition in its current form with the current way the IP is set up. It's just neat. And it's cool that Nintendo and Universal are still expanding these parks. I'd love to go visit one day. It seems really cool. The merch associated with it is really neat. Yeah, it's just a small story I wanted to touch on. All right, let's move on. We've got bigger fish to fry. What is that? All right, it didn't load. There we go. Fortnite. All right, so the new season started after the Big Bang event, which happened over the weekend. But there were several things announced over the weekend that are coming this week and into next week, I believe, that are pretty exciting. So the new season is really fun. Chapter 5, the island's neat, the weapons are cool. I don't know, I feel like I've gotten worse at the game lately, but that's just a me issue. We also got Lego Fortnite, rocket racing, and this musical experience that we'll get into in just a second. Fortnite Festival. So in a press release, we got some details. Lego Fortnite's Ultimate Survival Crafting Lego Adventure. This looks like a family-friendly take on the Fortnite formula, but specifically maybe the survival aspect and not necessarily the Battle Royale aspect. I'm excited to check this out. I'm hoping it's fun. It looks like a way for them to just have younger audiences play without them playing the Battle Royale mode as they start to include more adult or not kid-friendly content. I mean, you got Family Guy now. You've had M-rated franchises across gaming being represented. So I like that they're taking the Lego approach. It's another way to make it cutesy and fun, and we'll see what it is. There's not a whole lot of info on it. Rocket racing is the other part of this. It's from Psyonix. And I've always thought the way cars handle in Rocket League would be really fun in a racing game. Hopefully that's what we get here, but it looks like it's in Fortnite. Like, this is going to be a game within Fortnite, kind of like how you have multiple experiences in Roblox. It looks like Epic is just doing that now. We've had that for a while with community maps and game modes and all of that. Well, now Epic is building out other dev teams to build their own experiences. I mean, we got Lego Fortnite, Rocket Racing, and Fortnite Festival, which I find the most interesting, but we know the least about as far as I can tell. It's a music game. Players can play in a band with friends or perform solo on stage with hit music by their favorite artists. Built by Harmonix, the studio behind the iconic music game Rock Band, Festival marks the beginning of music gaming in Fortnite, with the Season 1 of Festival being kicked off by The Weeknd on December 9th, 2023. This has a teen rating. What I find wild about this is I forgot that Epic bought Harmonix, developers of Rock Band, and it looks like what they've had them doing is building out the festival mode, which music, like concerts, aren't new to Fortnite, but this looks like an interactive way to get players involved. And in the previous tab, which we can pull up here with the thumbnail, if you look closely, I don't know if the page zoom will actually make this image, bigger. Doesn't look like it will. Okay, well, there it goes. Come back. All right, we're live. You can kind of see behind the bear with the guitar, there's a very similar Rock Band track there, just without all the colored notes. They're all purple here, which got me thinking, like, is this like the next step for even Rock Band to just be represented here? This is crazy. But I think it's super cool that we've just got a lot of different things happening in Fortnite. It feels like they're really building out a metaverse where nobody else has been able to yet. because we have some very different experiences all going on in the same game, and that's super cool. I'm excited to check out each of these. I don't know if I'll really jump into Fortnite Festival. I don't know anything about the weekend. Rocket Racing sounds fun, and Lego Fortnite seems like to be the star of the show for me here. But I'm interested in Festival because I used to love Rock Band, and I'm curious if it's going to be like a rhythm game that's online multiplayer with your Fortnite characters. Will it support Rock Band instruments? That would be crazy if it could, because there's even an instrument section in the Fortnite character inventory where you can like customize your stuff. There's a whole section for instruments. So who knows what that's going to end up being. That's really neat. It really is becoming a creative hub for People's Edge. IGN had an article on Lego Fortnite. It didn't offer much detail. It's just the next thing. All right, let's move on to the biggest game announcement of all time that we've had. People were literally waiting for this so hard, and then it got leaked. And so it was supposed to launch today. The trailer was going to premiere today, but then Rockstar got their trailer leaked. And so that's Grand Theft Auto 6. This is not a game I would normally cover, but the sheer size of it, you can't ignore. Being family friendly, I can't recommend this game at all. It promotes a lot of things that I'm not a fan of. But the trailer did leak early, which I find interesting, which prompted Rockstar to just go ahead and officially release it. And so let's look at the stats as of today. Right here, 9.58 million subscribers to their channel, which probably grew. 93 million views as of yesterday. Like this, that's today. So one day, 93 million views. Most of those came within the first like hour of the video. If we look at some other stats here, I just like looking at this stuff. 2.7 million views per hour. The trailer did show off some very technical surprises. It's very, you never even played GTA 5. Yeah, me either. Honestly, it's not my kind of game. But the trailer did show off some very interesting technical possibilities. The environments they showed in the very brief trailer were very dense. There was a lot going on. There's a lot of things that are going to be interesting to see played out. I can't say anything about it. I don't know. I won't play it. I can tell you now, I'm probably not going to play this game. But the technical side of it, I am interested in. How are they going to manage to get all of the things that were going on in parts of this trailer running on an Xbox Series X and PS5 or a low-end PC? Are the specs going to be just ridiculously high? Is this going to be like the next benchmark game for consoles and PCs? I have no clue, but it's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out. It's looking massive, and like I said, it's one of those things where even on this channel where I'm not going to cover like details for this game, we all know what Grand Theft Auto is. And if you don't have to go look it up. It's a game about crime. That's all you need to know. It's in the title. Anyway, point being, the impact that GTA has had on the industry cannot be ignored, and it's gonna impact a lot of the way open world games are handled, and just it's gonna set a new bar in a lot of ways. So I'm interested in that aspect, but not so much the game itself. So yeah. All right, let's get to the last news story, which is just a personal interest thing of mine. Sonic Dream Team came out on Apple Arcade. It released a little early. It was supposed to come out today, and it launched last night on Apple Arcade. And I gotta say, the little bit I got to play of it, it's pretty fun. I'm probably gonna play a bit of it on stream at some point. It seems like a very streamable, short mobile game. The thing I like about Apple Arcade games is they all support controllers. So this is a 3D Sonic game, full controller support on mobile. The levels look really cool. Like this little looping slideshow that's playing is just here because it looks interesting. But it's got a really cool animated intro. The story seems interesting. It seems kind of short overall. I'm wondering if they'll expand, maybe in a month, add levels or something. Several characters you can play as from the Sonic universe, and the overall game just looks great, feels great. I played a little bit of it late last night, maybe for 5 minutes, just to get through the tutorial and see what I thought. It handles great. I want to play with a controller because that's definitely going to be way better than using the touch controls, but it's super cool. It looks, I love the art style. It's very colorful. It's very open. I'm just pumped for it. If you have Apple Arcade, you can check it out on your iPhone, your iPad, your Mac item, laptop, Mac Studio, whatever you have that supports Apple Arcade games, you can run this game. It's not really demanding from what I understand. So definitely check it out if you can. I don't know if it's coming to other platforms. I think Apple helped get, Hardlight Studios to get this game on there, at a technical level. So it may be Apple only, which is kind of a bummer. But Apple is making some big moves in gaming, whether you want to admit it or not. So whatever exclusives they can get a hold of for Apple Arcade, they're going to do it. And this is one of them. And it's good. I don't think it's going to change anybody's mind on Apple Arcade or Sonic games. But if you like Sonic and have an Apple device, there's no reason not to check this out. All right, well, that does it for the game news. I don't know if it was shorter or longer tonight, but definitely thanks for checking out the video. If you're watching on Twitch, we're going to get to some Pokemon Unite very shortly. If you're watching this after the fact on YouTube or Rumble, be sure to subscribe, follow, do all the things that help. Like the video if you liked it. Dislike it if you didn't. It's fine. Let me know in the comments what you think about any of the news stories we covered. Specifically GTA, and then are you affected by Sony shutting off their stuff, and does any of the Fortnite stuff have you excited? I sure hope so. I think Fortnite's back in a big way. But that does it for this game news. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye. I love you.